Hey everybody, where's Wally here? Well, this was just going to be a short video, just basically going over a few of the little fails that Mitchell from Australia brought up, and this was after watching the excellent video from Mr. Sensible, who really took him to town, which I thought was quite funny. When I went and had a look at some of his other videos, I found a real gem. I found what I think is Mitchell cheating. Now, I don't know if Mitchell's ever been known to do that before, coin on a table, but let's just wait and see. We'll have a look at this at the end. First of all, I'll show you the few bits I was going to have a go at, and then the piece de resistance of fail from Mitchell at the end. Stay tuned, guys. Now, I just had a watch of Mr. Sensible's video, ripping him to pieces, and man, that was excellent. I laughed so much. Better all go and find it. I'll leave the link up here in the top left corner. Go and have a click and watch. Anyway, there's not a lot to be said for Mitchell because he's pretty much done it all himself, as Mr. Sensible pointed out. But there was just one or two little things I really wanted Mitchell to address because he said he was going to look at southern star rotations. I don't think he really did that. He looked at star rotations as a whole. But now, Mitchell, we actually have two centres of star rotation. And here's an image I took myself in the backyard. When you look at where the centre of that rotation is on the star trail, it's 28 degrees, which pretty much matches up with the latitude of Brisbane. And when Wolfie does it in Sydney, he gets the same latitude as his location in Sydney. And when my mate Robert Schwartz does it, he gets 90 degrees. Oh, did you figure out where Robert is when he did this? Yeah, that's right, he was standing right at the frickin' South Pole, numbnuts.
To be rotating, not actually rotating, just like this demonstration of a drone leaving the rotating reference frame of a roundabout. From the rotating reference frame, it appears that the drone is deviating, but as we can see, the drone just goes up and hovers. It doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, and Mitchell, why the hell is Australia upside down? You're a big, I don't know what to call you. Which way is the world facing, mate? Have you got the South Pole at the centre here? Is that what we're doing? But no, it doesn't line up with the other two major southern hemisphere continents, does it? Mitchell, this is a dog's breakfast. And as for your inertial reference frame, that drone hasn't actually left the reference frame of the Earth when it's doing those sunsets, has it? No, it hasn't, Mitchell. So what happens, what do we see when we do leave the inertial reference frame of the Earth and say jump to the ISS? Well, because we're going around the Earth 16 times faster, we actually see 16 sunrises and sunsets in a day, Mitchell. Have you looked at that? Well, before you get all cranky about the ISS, I suggest you watch my video, link up here in the top left-hand corner. And yes, I did figure out how to do that. Have a look at that, Mitchell. See if you can watch that video right through and pull any of it apart. I dare say you won't be able to. Bye, Mitchell. Yes, you are a special breed. An Australian flat earther, who would have thought? So while I'm on Mitchell's page, let's have a look. He's got another video about 7 questions that globe earthers are afraid to answer. I love it when they poke out the old, oh, you're afraid type little bit of motivation. Never works because basically these things have been answered so many times. It really sort of smacks of desperation to these guys. They mustn't have anything else to talk about. You know, sun distance? Yeah, that's been done. Axial rotation? Of course it can be. Earth core? Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter anyway if you're only talking about the shape of the Earth. Seismologists will tell you, of course it can be. Gravity? Well, yeah, we all know that one's true. Gas pressure? Yeah, climb a mountain and see. Curvature? Oh, we can all see that. R value? Easily set you straight on that one, Mitchell. It's been done experimentally in labs for years. Too easy. Look, if you're really, really desperate, it seems like you're trying to get Mr. Nathan to have a look at you, why don't you review my ISS video, mate? It'll give you a whole host of new things that you can talk about. And it might even swing you over from being a flatty to a globie. Come on, what do you got to lose? And I suppose if we have a look through the comments, we'll find the usual attaboys declaring Mitchell to be a hero, and there won't be a single flatty in there saying, Mitchell, I think you stuffed up. Mitchell, I think you did this wrong. Mitchell, I think you're trying to cheat and get Nathan's approval. There won't be any of that, will there? Let's go and have a look and see. Oh, look who's in the comments. It's my little flea-like mate, no fanfare. Well, mate, oh, and look what you're saying about me. Oh dear, dear, dear. Well, I guess I could have made a quick quip about you not knowing a woman in a biblical sense, but hope I'm above that. So let's see what else. What have you been up to of late? No fanfare? Let's have a look at your channel and see what you've been doing. You've been very, very quiet. I was hoping you'd do an ISS analysis for me one day, but still nothing from you. Well, that's interesting. Nothing here. What happened? Did someone keep hassling you and you had to run away? Well, I suppose it is about time for it. How many times a year do you do that? Well, then I got a little bit bored and went and had a look at one other of Mitchell's videos, the world spinning one, and I found this little interesting drone segment where Mitchell claims to turn off the GPS and the drone hovers for 20 minutes all by itself in ATTI mode.
Could be experiencing a 15 degree per hour deviation,
a 15 degree per hour drift
to the west. So here's another drone demonstration. This is put into ATTI mode, which is attitude mode, not governed by GPS. This is a 20-minute time lapse of the drone hovering and not deviating to the west. In fact, it's not deviating at all. It's landing almost exactly from where it took off from 20 minutes ago. The drone is in the inertial reference frame.
Well, Mitchell, I think you might be having a coin sliding along a table moment here, and perhaps you're being a little deceptive. I think you better do it again, and you better show us the controller full time as well, because if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken, those branches of those bushes blowing around in the background indicates that there's a bit of a breeze, which means in full ATTI mode, the drone should drift away. I think you are making a little bit of a sneaky thing there. You can always prove me wrong, of course. And I'm thinking here I might need to have a bit of an expert opinion. And for those of you who know my channel, you know what's coming next, don't you? Here's the big guy. And he happens to be blocked from Mitchell's channel. You know why.
I found it very suspicious that Mitchell moves his controller for the drone out of the camera's view before taking off. He initially shows us the drone in attitude mode, but we have no way of confirming it was still in attitude mode when he took off and during the flight. It is apparent there is wind in the background, and if that drone was in attitude mode and there were no manual control inputs being made, it would have drifted away from that position. Either it was placed into GPS mode before takeoff with the controller out of the camera's view, or he was making manual corrections during the flight. I suggest Mitchell repeat that experiment and keep the controller in the camera's view at all times to prove it was in attitude mode and to prove that there were no corrections being made.
And bear in mind that Wolfie is a CASA certified drone operator and a beta tester for DJI Inspire as well, so expert opinion much?
This is the folder that has my pilot's licenses. That's the Australian one and the medicals, and there is the US pilot's license. But this is the drone license. It's exactly the same format. For operating the following types of UAV: multi-rotor less than 7 kilograms. And because there is no restriction to line of sight, that means I can operate it beyond visual line of sight. They give me that approval because I have a full-size instrument rating. What are you doing, darling?
Flying the drone.
Flying the drone? You've got it fully under control, haven't you? You know exactly what to do. Good job. Bring it lower. That's it. And bring it back towards us. Bring it back towards us.
So Mitchell, I guess the thing that you need to do now is repeat it and have the controller in full view all the time so that we can check that it is still in ATTI mode and is doing what you're claiming it's doing, because I really think it can't be.